Today, many men and women are free to come together to elope, tie the knot, get hitched, whatever you want to call it. But flashback to the 1900s, things were a little different. On July 13th, 1958, Richard and Mildred Loving were arrested by Sheriff Garnett Brooks and spent 5 days in a jail until their friends and family could bail them out with $1,000. They were held on the account of living together as husband and wife against the peace and dignity of Commonwealth of Virginia. The Lovings got married in Washington, D.C., where interracial marriage was legal, but some southern states, including their hometown Virginia, had anti-miscegenation laws, meaning no marital or sexual relations with someone white and of another race. In America, around this time, this law was specifically made for blacks and whites. After pleading guilty, the Lovings were forced to leave the state of Virginia and not return for 25 years in order to suspend the trial along with a 1-year jail sentence. The American Civil Liberties Union helped them after the Virginia State Court of Appeals ruled against them, so that they were able to take their case to the United States Supreme Court. It wasn't until June 12th of 1967 the justices declared the prohibition of interracial marriage to be unconstitutional. Loving versus Virginia was not only a stepping stone for whites and blacks, but the case also has a huge impact on Americans' viewpoint of marriage today. Researchers interviewed students at University of Nebraska, showing them pictures of different couples while recording brain activity to see how they truly felt. Once shown a picture of an interracial couple, most students dictated that there was no problem, but the feeling of disgust was triggered within the brain. In 2013, 1 out of 8 people married were of an interracial marriage, that being 58% who are American Indian, 28% Asian, 19% Black, and 7% white. So, the question is, although it's been over 50 years since the Loving versus Virginia case, does America fully accept interracial couples? Well, here we have a first-hand interview with our journalist John A. Williams to evaluate just what we're wondering. Thank you, John A. I'm here with Sean and Michelle Daniel, and obviously they are an interracial couple, and I thank you guys so much for being here.
Oh,
I have
no
a few
problem.
questions that I'd like to ask you guys, so let's get started.
Okay.
So how did you guys meet?
Do you want me to take this or you take it?
Sure, you can go ahead and take it on.
Well, I moved to Baltimore and we basically both started working together and we met there at work.
Where did you guys work?
First Watch in Pikesville, Maryland.
Oh.
So we were both servers.
Oh, okay.
I was actually the head server. She was my underling. So I was training her.
This is true. This is a claim.
When and how long have you guys been married?
I always forget this. So 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
August 8th
Mm-hmm.
will be 9 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love you. You guys have any kids?
Unfortunately, 3 spawns of Satan. Kidding. 3 kids. 3 kids.
This is, yes, we have 3 daughters.
Okay.
2 that are 5 and 1 that is 3.
Okay, cool. Do people give you guys any dirty looks or stare at you if you guys go to like a Walmart or just out in public?
Well, I mean, surprisingly, yeah, you get that. I think everybody gets that. You know, every couple gets that. It doesn't matter. Partiality is everywhere, but it's funny that you will get those dirty looks and those snide remarks from sometimes the people you know.
Mm-hmm.
People who are extremely inconsiderate and they think it's okay because they know you on that level, but they don't realize that they're perpetuating the same thing they hate. You know, if you want to call it racism, if you want to call it partiality. Yeah.
And I mean, I think sometimes too, like, we'll get looked at. I think sometimes it depends, like, like a lot of times I feel like at the store, a lot of the usually a question that we're asked often is this together? Are you guys together? And it's like very obvious that our stuff like is all together and we're like standing in line and we're like really close and it's like but it's almost like oh that couldn't be possible. Like they couldn't really be together.
But
sometimes
even still, like it's hilarious. If it's like in a restaurant and it's a black waitress, she probably won't even acknowledge her. You know?
Yeah, it usually is like the issues usually stem from, you know, black women or white males.
Yeah,
That's
normally
usually
white women really don't even say anything. They seem like they're like, oh, whatever, you know. But it's white guys, black guys, and black girls. Never fails.
Do you think that your children will face any prejudice later on in life or today in school?
I mean, it does happen. Someone came to me and said, yeah, they're not black. I'm like, yeah, they are. And they said, well, they don't look like regular black children. I'm like, what does regular black children look like? I mean, because if you want to use color as an ethnicity or a nationality, I mean, you gotta think of Native Americans, you gotta think of Ethiopians. So it really is this is how a normal black person would look. You know what I mean? So, I mean, stupid stuff like that. They're gonna go through it. Yeah, they're gonna go through it, but it doesn't mean that they have to succumb to it and be idiots like the person or the people who would, put them through something like that. So.
Do you think that America as a whole could ever fully accept interracial couples without any prejudiced looks or anything like that?
No, not in this current. I just think that there's too many. I think that there's too many ideologies. There's too many people who, especially white people. I feel like being a dominant culture. I think that there's too much. For some people, they just won't ever look at somebody of a different race as equal. And I think that there's too many oppressed minorities that they're never going to see the good in those oppressors because I mean it would be hard to, and so you're always going to have people on those spectrums. I do feel as though as a society, people are starting to come together and to admit to some huge issues that are in the United States, but no, I don't think it'll ever be done away with.
First of all, it would definitely have to be, a thing of education because me being with somebody isn't something that's tolerated. It's just they love who they love. Man and woman, that's how we're packaged together. That's how we have children. When we stop looking at people, black and white, as two different races, because it's the animal race and it's the human race. When people stop looking at it like that, then they'll get it through their heads that we're not too much different. We're pretty much the same. Our backgrounds are different because we're raised different, but if you take a person's skin off and you stand two people next to each other, we have our organs in the same place, and it might be like an abnormality where that's not the case, but for the most part, that's the truth. They'll never ever be able to get over it. It's a possibility that could happen. Yes. Will it? Who knows? I doubt it.
Thank you so much, you guys, for letting me interview you guys, and back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janae. Overall, we see that interracial couples of America have not become fully accepted within different communities since the Loving versus Virginia case, based off of the hidden feelings of the recent student poll at University of Nebraska and firsthand experiences of Mr. and Mrs. Daniel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time on History USA.